Moving into our last story of the day, Whole Foods flagship San Francisco location is closing due to, just guess why they're closing, rampant crime and drug use in the area. We've seen so many stores close out of Democrat-ran areas. It is literally head spinning. Starbucks has closed locations in all Democrat-ran areas, by the way. You've had, what else? CVS, Walgreens. I mean, you name it, you probably have a store that fleed from the area, and those are just actual name brand stores. That doesn't include the mom and pops that are basically being screwed out of all this. Whole Foods in downtown San Francisco will close abruptly just a year after opening. So you have these people, oh, that's a great idea. They totally support us. They totally support our movement. No, they don't. They're going to look at you and steal your crap because in California, we have a thing called Prop 47, where if you steal anything under like $950, nothing happens to you. That's why there's endless videos of people walking into Walgreens, walking into Whole Foods now, walking into CVS, and literally just stealing lip balm, chapstick, just all sorts of stuff. And they'll carry it out in like a duffel bag. And by carrying it out, I mean, they're just walking out of the store. They're not running and afraid of the cops because nothing's going to happen. And that's why you have all these people fleeing. But again, the Democrat-ran areas are totally fine, you guys. There's no fire. It's just all smoke. Although you have massive homeless, you literally have a quarter of the homeless population in one county, meaning Los Angeles. Wait till 2024. What is it? It's either 2024 that we have the Olympics here, or it's 2028. I guarantee you, you're not going to see a homeless person in sight. It's going to be like Joe Biden flying down there to the border, and just by chance, by just circumstance, there was no illegal immigrants when Joe Biden showed up there, even though there were literally like thousands in the street the day before, like 24 hours before. It's going to be the same thing. You're going to see thousands, because again, the core of the homeless population is in one county, LA County, where the Olympics are. One day you're going to see them. The next day you're not going to see them. But the Democrats care. Democrats 100% care. The company cites safety for its team members as the primary reason for closing the store. You have the same thing being said by Starbucks, by the way. And Starbucks was extremely for the LGBTQ community, if you recall. To ensure the safety of our team members, we have made the difficult decision to close the Trinity store for the time being, said a spokesperson for Whole Foods Market. It's not a tough decision at all. I mean, the liability on that, if you know that something's happening, can you imagine the lawsuits that are going to come through because you don't want to take care of your ish? All team members will be transferred to one of our nearby locations. I wonder how far that one is. Nearby is like in another state. A local San Francisco supervisor, Matt Dorsey, expressed his disappointment on Twitter. I'm incredibly disappointed unsurprised by the temporary closure of the mid-market Whole Foods. Our neighborhood waited a long time for the supermarket, but we're also well aware of the problems they've experienced with drug-related retail theft, adjacent drug markets, and the many safety issues related to them. Why don't you, rather than just going on Twitter, why are you not contacting your local representatives of your area? Maybe your mayor, maybe the person that's running the show, maybe your congressman or woman. I mean, why are you talking about Whole Foods? Why don't you take care of the area of which you live in? But they don't want to take care of it because you guys, there'd be bigots then at that point. If they actually sat there and cared about all this stuff and said, hey, why don't people stop doing, why don't you get the druggies off the street? Why don't you get the homeless people off the street and find places to put them, meaning getting them the help that they need, and stop incentivizing this stuff. And by incentivizing, literally in some areas, they're actually paying these homeless people to be on the streets. I mean, there's an interview of a guy getting paid like $600 given cell phone and food. And he goes, why would I move off this beachfront property when you're paying me to do this? Also in California, they want to give them, or already have given them, areas to do drugs. They're incentivizing people to do drugs. They get free needles and everything. It's insane. It's so disgusting in the state of California. And I haven't talked about this in a while, but I have mentioned it. There's literally an app that you can download so you're not stepping in human feces. You can actually report human feces on the app so you're not stepping in it. Sav says, I believe she was Turning Point USA now. She does a lot of on-the-street interviews. Literally wasn't in California longer than I think 30 minutes. And she already had seen people doing drugs, doing the fentanyl crawl, passed out on the street, and human feces everywhere within like 30 minutes of landing in California. This place is disgusting, man. It even smells in downtown Los Angeles, by the way. I can't imagine what San Francisco smells like. The supervisor then announced a new legislation proposal called the San Francisco Police Department Full Staffing Act. This is rich. This is rich. The act intends to reestablish, you guys. Oh, it comes full circle. You'll see what I mean by it in a moment. The act intends to reestablish minimum police staffing levels and mandate certain budgetary provisions over a 5-year period to achieve a fully staffed municipal police force in the city and county of San Francisco. The same people that wanted to defund the police are now wanting to fund the police because they realized it wasn't a good idea. And we were all sitting here for years going, hey, you idiots, probably not a good idea, because what's going to happen? Oh, you're going to have an increase in crime and people are going to be pissed over it. And now you have this happening, and then now you have to institute an act for police. Who the hell wants to be a police officer anymore? The amount of liability, because you have a guy shooting at your face and you shoot him back and you're still going to be held responsible for when you kill him. Who would want to be a police officer nowadays? You guys are idiots. By you guys, not you, the Democrats. And I'm being very sincere. The Democrats are idiots when it comes to this stuff. They don't have a clue. They don't have a clue on how to run cities. And for some reason, people still voted in the midterm elections. The same people that are watching this happen to their communities here are voting still Democrat. Let that sink in. You have rampant crime, rampant drugs, gangs. I mean, you name it. It's happening in Democrat-ran areas. They're all for it, you guys. You can't, if you're a Democrat going, I'm not for it, I'm not for crime. How can you say you're not? It's not like one issue. You know what I mean? It's not like me going, well, because of this one issue, I'm labeling you this as a Democrat. And that's the reason why you shouldn't vote Democrat. No, it is a litany of issues as to why you shouldn't vote Democrat. You are better off voting independent than you are Democrat. Hell, you might as well just gamble having a conservative or Republican run your local area and see what turns out over a 4-year period or so, 2 to 4, and just see what happens. Just take that as a gamble rather than gambling on Democrats to actually keep solving it. I mean, that's the definition of insanity. You continually electing the same party and getting the same result, and that result tends to get worse over time because they're not doing anything about it. And what they're doing is just exacerbating the issue by spending more money and basically incentivizing this behavior. And so now, after years of all this stuff, of us chanting and screaming to the skies, defunding the police is a terrible idea. Now you want to sit there and reestablish minimum police staffing levels. Oh, God. The plan recommends an increase of at least 400 police officers in the next 5 years. Dorsey pointed to a police staffing chart that shows the city is about 400 police officers under the recommended levels. According to the chart, San Francisco's police staffing is at its lowest numbers in approximately 1,500 years. If you want to see a real difference, by the way, basically double that number and maybe even triple it, because the more policing you have in the area, more patrol taking place, the lower the crime is going to be. And that's why you have Democrat-ran areas and also even honestly Republican-ran areas. The areas that are not being policed have the most crime. And you don't even have to be a genius or even see a statistic on that to know that would probably be the likelihood of taking place, because when people know that police aren't going around, they're going to commit more crime. So they have a graph. There's no need to show it. It just shows that staffing levels are low. The massive Whole Foods location was one of the largest grocery stores in San Francisco at nearly 65,000 square feet with more than 3,700 products. You guys, it must have been really bad because the amount of money that Whole Foods had to put into this building and just to create that type of square footage of a grocery store, crime had to be through the roof for them to look at the liability and go, we might as well eat the cost because this is insane. So things are bad. If you're not living in California, God bless you. You're in free America. I couldn't be happier for you. I still live in the battleground here. We're fighting on the front lines, folks. Don't leave me in the trenches taking grenades, okay? If you want to support us and not leave me in the trenches taking grenade, you can either hop on Amazon and buy our book here. If you haven't picked up a copy, just support. Even if you don't plan on reading it, just buy it. In the same way, if you want to support the show, hit that like and subscribe button. Hopefully I've earned it. Leave us a comment down below. And we have a join tab. If you want to join and help fund the show, it's $4.99. There's also other options for you to spend more if you'd like. Go crazy. You can also donate money in the live chat or in the comment section. They're right under the video. You'll see a big thanks, and you can spend as much money as you want, folks. It's all going to go back into the show. It goes in my pocket, but it all goes back to the show. But we'd love for you to join and become a patron. I hope you enjoyed that clip from the Bald Brad Show. If you did, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date on all our future content.